Hey guys, thanks for tuning in and welcome back to the Blue Oval Tavern. We picked up an intake manifold for the 2018 Mustang and we're going against the grain a little bit. We're going to install a GT350 intake on our Gen 3 car. Check it out. Alright, so here's what we picked up. I got a smoking good deal on this GT350 intake. Got a deal on it that I just couldn't turn down, and I've been wanting to put an intake manifold on the 2018. Obviously everybody knows that for naturally aspirated, the Cobra Jet is King Daddy, but even on the used market, you're still going to be, you know, $1,200 to $1,500 with throttle body used. Best case scenario, buying that stuff new, you're a bit of $2,000, $2,500 into it, and I'm just not that into the whole drag racing thing anymore. I'm 45 years old, and I'm just kind of farting around just to entertain myself, really. But I kind of got a personal goal that I want to get the stick car. It's a manual transmission Gen 3 2018. I want to run 690s in the 8th on like a daily driver tire. That's just kind of my own personal goal, and I feel like this intake manifold will do the trick. It's kind of a happy medium between a ported 2018 intake and the Cobra Jet. You know, we can pretty much bolt this one on. I know I'm going to have to ditch this GT350 throttle body. It's analog and the 18 ups are digital. The other benefit to this is not only am I putting an intake manifold on the 2018, but I'm also going to take the 2018 Mustang intake and put it on our Coyote F-150. So for the price of one intake manifold, I'm upgrading two vehicles. So we're just going to show you the ins and outs of installing this, because you don't see a whole lot of people installing GT350 intakes on the Gen 3 cars. Most people just go straight to the Cobra Jet. But I'm kind of a believer in the GT350 intake. Alright, let's see if I can remove this throttle body with one hand here. Let's use our handy dandy Milwaukee. Okay. There we go. Now I'm going to work on getting this IMRC crap took off the back. For some reason, I want to think that I'd seen in videos on YouTube that they said that there were 6 T25 Torx bits holding this on, but I think I'm counting 8, unless some of them are just repetitive. But I can't at this point tell exactly which one holds it to the intake and which one maybe just bolts to the unit. So I'm just going to take all 8 out. Got 2 here, 1 there, 1 there's 4, and then there's 4 on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then obviously this will come out when I'm done too. So let's take this out, see how it goes. So, this is on like a little ball socket right here. I don't think I'll be able to get that off with one hand. So yeah, both of these are on this little ball socket. So that one might come off pretty easy. Yeah, it'll come off easy, but I'm gonna have to use 2 hands. So bear with me a little bit here. Oh yeah, that wasn't a big deal at all. Got a pry bar, a small one, and just pop the ball joints off right there, or ball studs, and popped it off right there on that one. So only thing now, I'm going to take these 2 solenoids off. There's 2 screws holding each of them on, so it looks like a grand total we're going to have 10 of these T25 Torx bits. We had 8 altogether down here. We're going to have 12. So we're going to have 12 bits altogether. Going to hold all this junk on, and I'm just going to take all of this off because we're not going to use any of this stuff here. go. So we got both of these solenoids loose. So now we're going to pull this vacuum line off the back here. This one right here. I'm going to pull it off and cap it. And then I'm going to disconnect this line here. And I'll probably cap it here because this line won't be necessary since we're no longer using any of this mess. Alright, so here's the mess of IMRC stuff that we've got removed off the back of the intake. And I removed it also from this T-fitting right here. I'll probably cap it just depending on how this all fits out when I actually install it, because I know I'm going to have to do some trick shit with the purge valve connection right here. I haven't decided if I'm just going to like get a dummy purge valve to screw on here just to plug that hole, or I've seen some people actually thread this hole and then put in a little pipe plug in it. Looks a lot cleaner, but that's kind of a permanent deal though. Rest of this should be pretty easy, other than just the purge valve. Should be only custom stuff I'll have to do to install it on the 2018, because the 2018s have a different purge valve setup. They got like a little inline canister purge, whereas Gen 1 and Gen 2 Coyotes and the GT350s, and actually the Bullitt Mach 1s, use a Gen 2 style purge valve. Just a little tidbit information there. So to put this on a Gen 3 Coyote, you got to get a little tricky with that, but no big deal at all. So we'll get the lockouts on the back and see how it goes. Don't know if you can see inside this, but just to show you how the IMRCs work, there's a little flapper inside here, and at part throttle conditions, the ECU will keep these closed and just gradually let air through, I guess for some reason, just to keep up with low speed velocity or something. The air fuel mixtures, a bunch of bullshit. But for what we're doing with it, we want them wide open. So here they're closed, there they're open. So that means the ball stud, if it's up, open. So when you want to zip tight, you want to zip tight to where it's locked in the down position. So we'll zip tie that. Boom, there it is, baby. Zip tie. I'm not spending $50 on billet lockouts. Zip tie, that'll work. That ball joint, ball stud, it's not going nowhere, and those flaps aren't going up and up. So we'll trim this up, put the other one on. Here we go. Manifold's pretty much prepped, ready to go. Got a lockout on passenger side, lockout on driver's side. MRCs are not going anywhere. Locked out. Just to show you here, they are open. I didn't like the way this was zip tied on this side. If you saw me wiggle it, it still had just a 1 millimeter of wiggle room on it where I had it zip tied to this post. And I went back behind it and did a zip tie to this little post. So really that's probably the one you're supposed to zip tie to anyway to start with, since the arm to close it will move this way. So when it was moving, it was really just moving side to side on this one. Just had too much tolerance in it. So I just went behind it, put another zip tie to this one right here. So really, if you're going to do one zip tie to this one, will probably be the one you'd use. But I just went ahead and just kept both of them on here. Can't have too many zip ties. It's not a race car. You hear me? So one thing I did find that I'm sure everybody else knew about, but I was looking for a solution for the purge valve, because like I said earlier, on the 2018s, there's an inline purge valve. Whereas on the Gen 2 cars and the GT350s, the purge valve was right here, and there was a little harness that went to it. So my original plan was just to track down an old purge valve, plug it in here, and then just plug the port on it. Well, I have discovered that Power by the Hour makes a really nice purge valve delete plug. They call it an evap delete. It is item PBH-635. Got it from Lethal Performance when I placed my order a little bit ago, and it's real nice billet aluminum. It says Coyote at the top. I'm not a real big fan of that. They make one that's made out of it's 3D printed plastic, and it says PBH on it. I kind of liked that one, but like I said, I had Lethal gift cards to use, and Lethal didn't have the plastic one available. This is the only one they had, so I was able to use discount codes and whatnot and got it pretty cheap. It's got a nice O-ring, and it seats in right here, and the O-ring seats in, seals that up, and that'll look real nice and clean. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to hit this with some sandpaper after I clean it real good, and I'm going to paint it semi-gloss black with some of this Duplicolor engine paint that I've had laying around, just to kind of make it blend in a little bit. And I'll probably paint it down to about where the O-ring is, because most of that is exposed. That should clean this up. It's a lot cleaner solution than what I was thinking with just getting a dummy purge valve to plug it. That's a stupid idea. Just get this plug. It's a lot cleaner. And then I'm going to figure out where my inline purge valve for my 18 is going to go in here. I'm pretty sure this line here is going to go to my brake booster. So I'm not sure if it's going to piggyback into here or if I'm going to have to make a splice. I'll figure it out. Got it sanded off a little bit just to give the paint something to stick to. Here's my Duplicolor semi-gloss. So hit that with a little bit of paint. Took the O-ring out, that way I could really get in there and I didn't want to damage the O-ring. So let's hit this coat of paint, see how it turns out. Got one coat down. A little tack coat. Yeah. That's going to turn out pretty good, I think. Alright, here's the final product. Put a couple coats on it. Put a real light coat on me and just kind of give it a little bit of that wrinkle effect. Put the O-ring back in it. So now I'm just ready to drop this baby into the purge valve port. It's a nice tight fit. And we'll use these included T4 Torx bit screws. These big silver screws, they're going to stick out like a sore thumb, but whatever. Yeah, that looks nice and clean. So one thing took care of. So now I'm just waiting on my throttle body to come in. I did sell the GT350 throttle body that came with this. Sold it on eBay, and I got on Marketplace on Facebook, and I found the Bullitt throttle body for the exact same price that I sold the GT350 intake for. So I'm legit got a real good deal on this whole setup. That's kind of the reason I'm putting this on there. I'm one of those guys that says everything's got a price. Alright, so we already got a package today. The throttle body came off Facebook Marketplace. We got the Bullitt 87mm throttle body that goes on the intake manifold. Mint condition. I mean, that sucker is like brand new. This does have the KR3E product code on the front. So this is the 2018 up version of the 87mm throttle body. 18 ups have the digital electronics, whereas the GT350 throttle bodies with the, I think it's the GR3E, they've got analog electronics. So this is what you got to have if you're running a 2018 up. Got to have it's a Bullitt or Mach 1 throttle body. So we'll go ahead and sling this on here. This should pretty much have the intake manifold ready to install. As soon as I get my tune. I haven't even ordered a tune yet. I've honestly been kind of taking my time getting this together. Like I've said previously in the video, it's not like this was something that I really sit and planned out that I wanted to do to the car. It was just kind of the deal that I got it for. I've been crazy to turn it down and not take advantage of this deal that I got it for. And it's also going to be an intake manifold upgrade for the truck whenever I do the intake cams. So I'm just inspecting the gasket there. Looks like it's still in good shape. It's not flattened out. There's no gouges in it. So this puppy's ready to throw on there. Okay, so I looked for a picture, and this is how it goes on there. That's how I thought it was with the electronics box on the passenger side as it's mounted with the throttle blade opening that way. But what had me twisted up was the factory 2018 electronics. The electronics are here on the side, but the plug is down here. So when I looked at this, I thought, man, it just didn't look right to me. So we got it figured out now, and we'll just go ahead and put this on. So definitely let this kind of be a lesson to always keep an eye on Facebook Marketplace. There's always good deals to be found. That's where I found all this. I found the intake manifold on Facebook Marketplace, and I sold the GT350 throttle body on eBay. That's where I sold it. But then I literally bought this Bullitt Mach 1 throttle body for literally the exact dollar amount that I sold the GT350 intake. So Facebook Marketplace is fantastic for finding deals. So there we go. That baby is ready to run. Alright guys, so we've got this figured out right here, so pay attention to this part. The way the vacuum came on the GT350 intake, both of these two lines right here were manifold reference. That's where they got vacuum. With these two lines here, this line right here went out to the brake booster. This line went out to the air box. This was for the purge valve, which we've blocked off. This one right here, I'm not sure exactly what it went to on a GT350, but don't really give a shit because we're going to do some tricky stuff here. So what I'm going to do, I still want this line right here to come out to my air box. The deal is, on GT350s, they hooked up to the air box on this side, right here. With my PMAS intake, I'm going to need to come from this side and connect right here. The deal there is this side of this fitting is 1/2 inch. All these other three are 3/8 inch vacuum. Both of these two ports down here, this one here and this one here, both of those are 1/2 inch. So what I'm going to do to keep a vacuum reference here is I'm going to flip this factory fitting. Just unplug it here, yank it off there, and I'm just going to flip it. Okay. Well, what I'm going to do now is, since this is a 1/2 inch line, I'm going to use the 1/2 inch down here. So bear with me while I put this on with one hand. Okay. So now that's going to get vacuum reference. Now I'm just going to plug the top, plug this back in right here, the 3/8 line. Okay, now let's see if I can spin it around a little bit. Okay, now these will be connected better once I get two hands on them. Okay, so now this still has vacuum reference where it originally had it, and this just goes straight through, and this kind of just goes straight through, except there's a little one-way valve in here. So I probably could have capped this off and just left this for vacuum reference, but I'm not sure exactly which way that valve goes, so I figured I'd just leave it with two vacuum references. So now what's going to happen with this is this top line will still go out to my brake booster, and what I'm going to do is use my factory line. So when I take this intake off, I'm trying to disassemble this and cut. I'm not wanting to cut anything just in case I decide to put this intake back on later on. But I can disconnect this brake booster hose from the factory fitting there, and I'm going to hook it in right here, and then my vacuum line that goes to my air box, I'm going to use this line, hook it in right here. So all these are accounted for. We've got two vacuum references. This will go to my brake booster. This purge is blocked off. This will go to my air box. So now the only thing I've got to do is figure out how to hook my purge valve into this intake. So I'm going to use this 1/2 inch hose, this 1/2 inch port right here. So I placed an Amazon order, and doing all this was free. So here's where I got my Amazon order, and I literally have less than $15 in this. What we have here is a 1/2 inch elbow vacuum line. It was longer. I've already been dicking around with it, and I've kind of cut it to the length that I need it. I just needed this elbow so that I could hit this port. Okay. So I got me an elbow right here on that port. The reason I want an elbow because I'm going to run it back to the my purge valve sits about right here on a 2018 car. And the reason I didn't use this side was because of the airbox hose. I just wanted to have it nice and clean going to my airbox. But what I'm going to do with this, so you got a 1/2 inch hose with a 9° right there. The other part is an adapter that goes from 1/2 inch to 3/8. Right there. And then got some 3/8 vacuum hose. I think I got about 3 feet of it in my order. That was the smallest I could get, so I've kind of already cut this around about to where I need it. So this 3/8 line, slide right there, and notice how easy that is to slide on and off there. So that's why I found, I just dug around, found some water clamps right here for that one. And then for this side right here, I found one of my factory vacuum clamps. So that'll go on here when we're done. And this line right here will go to a purge valve, which will sit about right there. So I can either set it here in the front, and it's going to look pretty clean right there, or I may tuck it back behind this, because this will probably be pulled forward just a little bit anyway, because this hose is going to be a little bit tight to reach. So either way, that's going to look pretty clean. I talked to PMAS, and they recommended that I get a 4-inch straight throttle body coupler. I tried to test fit the stock PMAS coupler that has the what is that? I don't know if that's a 40-degree angle or whatever. It definitely would not fit over the throttle body on this 87mm deal. So they said I had to get this 4-inch coupler, and I just happened to have this water clamp laying around the house. So you got to get that. Goes right on there, nice and snug. Looks like it come from PMAS. This one's also a 3-ply. That way it's not real thick like you see some of those big turbo couplings. It's 3-ply, which is about the same thickness that PMAS provides. So we've not done a bunch of splicing and cutting, and this is going to look relatively OEM, and that's kind of what I'm going after. You know, not a hack job like I've seen some of these intake manifold installs. So yeah, let's get this thing on there. All right, I'm going to call a little timeout for just a second here, if you don't mind. You guys have probably seen my dog Bristol in the background of a lot of these videos. Her name was Bristol Laverne. She had a middle name. She was my garage buddy, and she was by my side the whole time. Well, she passed away in the middle of making this video. If you saw her before, you won't see her anymore. She was 12 and a half years old. She was a boxer husky mix, so she was pretty much near the end of her time. I was hoping to get about 6 more months out of her. I know she was sunsetting a little bit, but she lived a good life, and we miss her dearly. So I just want to share that in case you guys seen her before, won't see her anymore. So just want to get that little sidebar in here just to let you know what's up. And if you stick around the end of the video, I'll probably share some of my favorite pictures of her, just to kind of help me cope a little bit. So we'll get back to the video. And since there's like 5,000 videos on YouTube showing you how to actually swap the intake manifold itself, we're not going to go into detail on that, since this video is mainly just focused on how to get the vacuum lines working on a 2018 with the 350 manifold. So we'll just pop in with a couple little time loops here. But the first thing you always need to do is take out the fuse for the fuel pump. I believe that's number 49. It's this little purple one right here behind those relays right there. So we'll pop that out. That way we can get all the fuel out of the fuel rails and yank it off here. Stay tuned. Well, we got the disassembly complete now, so we're putting it back together from here. They weren't lying when they said that getting these clips off the back of the intake is the worst part. That really was. Not that that was a terribly bad thing. It was just kind of hard to reach. You had to, you know, pull the intake up as far as you could so you could get to them. Honestly, getting these clips wasn't so bad. The worst part, I thought, was getting this IMRC plug out. So thank God I'm going to be covering these up and zip tying them up out of the way. And had a nice little mouse nest in the valley. I'm sure that's pretty common. So I cleaned all that out and vacuumed around my ports. I'm gonna give them one more good final wipe, and like I said, gonna get these tied up and covered up with some black tape, and we'll start putting her back together. This really ain't that bad of a job. It's probably taken me an hour to get to this point, and that is with me flying blind, not really watching any videos or keeping any kind of reference. I've just been kind of figuring it out as I go, and yeah, this ain't a bad job at all. All in all, this ain't no worse than putting an intake manifold on a pushrod car. It's really not. So just cleaned up, and let's start putting it back together. Alright, so bear with me. Here's a shot at what we did. Got it all back together. I think it looks pretty OEM looking, really, if you ask me. So what I did was run the brake booster to here. Run this as manifold vacuum. This is also manifold vacuum. So I'm going to find out if 2 vacuum ports are too much. I don't know. If nothing else, I'll just block one of them off. This one, I just ran it down to the air box, and then how I got vacuum to the purge valve, I ran it to this port down here. It's all hidden away, and we got that EGR block off right there, the purge valve block off. So really, I don't think this looks half bad. It doesn't look really cut up or nothing. So I've got the tune loaded. So let's see if I've blowed this thing up or not. So far, so good. Don't have any strange noises. Really went this easy, I'm actually a little shocked. I wouldn't have thought it went this easy. Let's see what kind of brake pedal I have. Oh, it's got a super firm pedal. Wow. Okay. I was afraid maybe it was too much vacuum and it'd kill the vacuum or whatever, but man, so far so good. Okay. Well, I think we did good. We'll do some drive time in this, and I'll send some data logs over to Palm Beach. I think we did pretty good here. So I just got back from taking this for just a little drive. Didn't get on it yet because I did do some data logs and sent them off to Palm Beach. So yeah, I'm not going to hammer on it until I get the okay back from them. But I got to tell you, the drivability and everything was even better than it was before. I was afraid with the bigger throttle body that it wouldn't be, or that I would have had something screwed up with the vacuums, but man, everything was fantastic. Brakes feel great. So I can tell you that what I did here with the vacuums, it works and it looks good. So I'm super pleased with how it turned out. Looks great, runs great. I didn't screw nothing up. So I'm ecstatic, to tell you the truth. Sorry I didn't get any draggies or, you know, before and after dynos or anything. As far as that goes, it's super hard around here in West Virginia to get any kind of good draggy hits. 6130 with the deer and everything, it's almost impossible to do. I mean, people do it, but I'm scared of deer and all that. Whatever. But we'll report back to let you know if this actually does improve how the car runs, anything. But man, for the deal I got this whole package for, I couldn't not put it on. And the side benefit is now I got a 2018 Mustang intake that I get to put on my Coyote F-150 for free. So double whammy. Well, I guess we're going to wrap this baby up. We've had our tune for about a week. Bobby at Palm Beach was my handler. We did the E85 tunes first, got those data logged and a couple revisions, knocked out of the park. Got the 93 tune in it right now, finalized. I can't rave enough about the tune that I got from Palm Beach Dyno. They did a great job. The data logs look perfect, no vacuum leaks. All the fuel trims were great. Let that show you that what we did here with the purge valve and those vacuum lines was a-okay. Everything worked great. As far as power goes, not a whole real big gain with it. Above 6 grand, you can really feel that it's taken off a little bit above 6 grand. But I probably extended my power band about 500 RPMs, and that's really what I've been wanting. I'm wanting to do some probably 8 grand shifts, and I'm going to add some 409 gears. Will probably be my next mod. So I think that'll really go well together. As far as daily driving it, I was not expecting the under the curve power that I got. That's probably due to the IMRC deletes, but just daily driving under the curve power is really great. I mean, it feels like I added another set of headers to it. You know how headers kind of help with the bottom end a little bit daily driving. That part was great. As far as bang for the buck, if you can find this stuff used on the marketplace, guys, keep your eyes peeled. You get this stuff for used prices. That's a killer bang for the buck. I'm in this for $325 total. $350 if I had to pay cash for the purge valve delete. You can't beat that for $300 some. So hope this video showed you a little bit and was a little bit educational. If you do like what you see here, give us a like and subscribe. Thanks for watching the Bullitt Tavern, and we'll catch you on the flip.
Bye.